Are you struggling to save money each month? What if I told you there are simple tricks that can help you stay on track and boost your savings without feeling deprived? Let's dive into 5 easy budget hacks that will transform your finances. Number 1. Set a realistic budget. One of the biggest mistakes people make when setting a budget is being overly ambitious. When you set your spending limits far below what you usually spend, you're bound to feel overwhelmed and frustrated. The key to success is creating a realistic budget that actually reflects your lifestyle and needs. Start by taking a close look at your spending habits over the last few months. What are you spending money on, and how much are you spending in each category? Groceries, rent, dining out, entertainment, and so on. The goal here isn't to be perfect, but to be honest. Only then can you truly understand your financial picture. Instead of trying to cut your spending drastically, make small, achievable adjustments. For example, if you're used to spending $600 on groceries, start by cutting that down to $550. Make incremental changes and evaluate how each change affects your daily life. The more manageable the goals, the more likely you'll stick to them. It's also helpful to categorize your spending into needs and wants. Needs are essentials like rent, utilities, groceries, and transportation. Wants are things like eating out, shopping, or subscriptions. By prioritizing your spending, you can easily identify areas where you can cut back and start saving more. Number 2, regularly review and update your budget. Creating a budget isn't something you do once and then forget. In order for your budget to work, it needs regular attention. Think of your budget as a living document. It should grow and change as your financial situation evolves. One of the best habits you can develop is regularly reviewing and updating your budget. Set aside time each week, maybe on Sunday evenings, to review your spending and update your budget. You can use tools like an Excel spreadsheet, a budget worksheet, or even an app like Mint or YNAB to help you track your expenses. It's important to write down everything you spend, from large bills to small impulse purchases. Tracking your spending regularly will help you see where your money is going and where you can make improvements. Once you have your expenses written down, take a moment to reflect on them. Did you spend more than you intended in any categories? Did you manage to save more than expected? Tracking your spending will help you make more informed decisions and prevent you from being caught off guard at the end of the month. The more aware you are of your financial behavior, the more in control you'll feel. This awareness can lead to some powerful changes. For example, if you find that you're spending too much on takeout, you can make an effort to cook more meals at home. If you find that you're paying for subscriptions you don't use, you can cancel them. These small changes, made regularly, will add up over time and help you save significantly. Number 3, be flexible with spending categories. One of the most important things to understand about budgeting is that it doesn't have to be rigid. Life is unpredictable, and your spending plan should reflect that. Sticking too strictly to your budget can actually be counterproductive if it leaves you feeling restricted or frustrated. That's why it's crucial to allow for flexibility. Let's say you've budgeted $100 for entertainment this month, but you end up spending $150. In the past, this might have made you feel like a failure. Instead, look at the other categories in your budget. Maybe you've spent less than expected on groceries or clothing. Don't be afraid to move money from one category to another. This doesn't mean you should go overboard and start shifting money around carelessly. You still need to stay within your overall budget for the month. But if you're flexible with how that money is allocated, you'll find it much easier to stick to your plan and avoid giving up altogether. You can also create a miscellaneous or flex category in your budget. This category can be used for any spending that doesn't fit neatly into your other categories or for overspending in other areas. Having a small buffer like this can take the pressure off and help you stay on track. Number 4, plan for unexpected expenses. Life has a way of surprising us, often when we're least prepared. Whether it's a car repair, a medical bill, or an emergency trip, unexpected expenses can throw even the most well-planned budget off track. That's why it's crucial to plan for the unexpected by creating an emergency fund. An emergency fund is a savings account set aside specifically for unforeseen expenses. Ideally, you want to have 3 to 6 months worth of living expenses saved up. However, if you're just getting started, don't be intimidated by that number. Even setting aside $20 or $50 each month can add up over time. In addition to your main emergency fund, consider adding an emergency category to your monthly budget. Set aside a small amount each month, maybe $100, that you can use for any surprise expenses that come up. This way, if something unexpected happens, you can cover it without derailing your entire budget. Number 5. Learn to say no. Learning to say no is one of the hardest, but most important parts of budgeting. Whether it's a night out with friends, a new gadget, or a spontaneous weekend trip, it can be tempting to spend money on things you don't need. However, if you want to save money and stick to your budget, you need to learn to say no. Having a budget gives you a clear picture of how much you can spend each month, and it's up to you to stick to it. If you don't have the funds in your budget for an expense, it's okay to decline. Saying no doesn't mean you're missing out. It means you're prioritizing your financial well-being and focusing on what truly matters. Saving money doesn't have to be complicated or stressful. By setting a realistic budget, regularly reviewing it, being flexible, planning for emergencies, and learning to say no, you can take control of your finances and save more each month. If you found these tips helpful, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more money-saving hacks.